Alright, since Sniper Shen and Support Skadi has already been released in CN servers, it is time to make a video on between those operators because there are other good operators like Mizuki and Kal'tsit, but they are in the different banners. And also, keep in mind, this video is not made to force you guys to save up an operator. You can save up whoever you want, and if you're waifu of a meta person or just wailing all of them, then that is fine. If you're saving up because of their E2 art, that is fine as well. But if you're a meta of a waifu, then I would help you guys to choose which operator, and yeah, let's get on with the video. Alright, Support Skadi's archetype is an aura supporter who can buff her allies but can't normally attack, and compared with Sora, one of Skadi's skills can attack, which I will explain about that later. Her trait is that she can't attack, but operators in her range will recover some HP per second that is equal to 10% of her attack. Now, Skadi's first talent is called Ancient Kin, where she can summon Seaborn that will last 15 to 25 seconds, and Seaborn is much more of an extension to Skadi's attack range. Now, Skadi's second talent is called Predatory Habits, and if the allies are within Skadi's range or Seaborn's range, then her self-attack will be increased by 6 to 9%. If the operators are Abyssal Hunters, then her self-attack will be increased by 15%. Her first skill is called Chant of Returning by Various Paths, which recovers all of her HP and gains 80 to 170% max HP. Increases her trait effect by 40 to 80%, and 50% of the operators within attack range who got attacked will be transferred to Skadi, which is useful when it comes with defense. Her second skill is called Wish of Burial Beyond the Light, and it buffs the operator's attack and defense by 15 to 16%, increases her trait from 15 to 20%, and it is also infinite duration. Her third skill is called The Tide Surges, The Tide Recedes, and it changes her trait to lose 5% of her HP every second. Now, this skill will make her do some true damage to enemies from 25 to 70% per second, and buffs operators some attack from 50 to 110% in her attack range. Now we move on to Kal'tsit, and she is a 6-star medic who can heal operators, but she can also summon a summoner named Monster. Her first talent is called Monster, where she can summon and heal Monster, but she can only focus on Monster. If not in Kal'tsit's range, then Monster's defense will be reduced to 0, and Monster does have 35 to 25 redeployment time as well. Her second talent is called Non-Damaging Destruction, and when Monster is killed by an enemy, it would stun all enemies in 8 surrounding tiles for 3 to 3.5 seconds and deals 1200 to 1400 damage, which is a lot actually. Her first skill is called Command Structural Fortification, and it increases Kal'tsit's and Monster's defense from 60 to 150%, and Kal'tsit will gain 20 to 50% physical block. Her second skill is called Command Tactical Coordination, where Kal'tsit's attack speed will be increased from 30 to 100%, Monster's attack will be increased from 20 to 90%, and it can also attack 3 enemies, which Monster can block 3 enemies as well. Her third skill is called Command Meltdown, and it increases Monster's defense from 100 to 200%. Monster can also deal 2 damage, which its attack will be increased from 130 to 260%, which is good, but there's a downside to that. When Monster doesn't kill any enemies, then it will lose 50% max HP when the skill ends. Now we have Sniper Shen, and she is a 6-star sniper, but her archetype is a spread shooter she is more of a close range sniper. Her trait is where she attacks all enemies in her attack range and deals 150% damage to enemies in her attack range. Her first talent is called Frugality, and when she is deployed, her ammo type skill will have 15 to 22% to consume no ammo, but when she is Elite 2, other snipers will have 10% chance to consume no ammo, which it is useful for Ash when using Shen. Her second talent is called Vestiges of Vacation, and it increases her attack speed by 8, but if the stage has water tiles, then her attack speed will be increased by 12, which is meh. Her first skill is called High Pressure Splash, and her attack will deal 40 to 100% and applies her trait effect to all of the enemies in her attack range. When her skill is activated, she would gain 4 ammos, and her skill will end when she uses up all of the ammos. Her second skill is called Knight of the Violet, and it increases her attack from 35 to 80%, and her attack will create water tiles in her attack range, which will last for 5 seconds. When the enemies are in the water tiles, it will decrease the enemy's movement speed from 10 to 35% and remove defenses from 50 to 170 to enemies. The charge effect would give her 20 ammos as well, and normally she would gain 8 ammos when her non-charged second skill is activated. Her third skill is called Holungday Storm, and it expands her attack range and increases her attack from 40 to 100%, and each of her attack will deal 2 hits and does apply her trait effect to all enemies in her attack range. Her attack will create some water tiles which will last for 5 seconds, and it decreases the enemy's movement speed from 20 to 45% and decreases their defense from 100 to 220. When her skill is activated, she would gain 32 ammo, but she would consume 2 ammos and her skill will end when she uses all of her ammo. Now we have Mizuki, and he is a 6-star stalker whose trait is that he can deal damage to all enemies in his range and has 50% chance to dodge physical and arts damage, and is less likely to be targeted by enemies. His first talent is called Dramatic Hysteria, and when attacking an enemy, he would deal an additional arts damage that is equal to 20 to 50% attack to enemies with the lowest HP. His second talent is called Counter-Transference, and when there's an enemy that has less than 50% HP in his attack range, he would deal 10 to 12% attack damage to them. His first talent is called Awaken, and his next attack would deal 170 to 300% physical damage and increases his first talent by 1.7 to 3 times. It can also hold up to 3 charges. His second skill is called Prisoner's Dilemma, and it would greatly decrease his attack interval, increasing his attack from 10 to 30%. His first talent can additionally target one enemy and can bind enemies for 0.6 to 1.3 seconds. His third skill is called Moon in the Water, and it expands his attack range and increases his attack from 75 to 150%. His first talent can additionally target 2 enemies and stuns them for 0.5 to 1 second. When he attacks less than 3 enemies, he would lose 15 to 12% max HP. Now we can get on with the results. Overall, if you wanna add someone to your buffing squad, you should definitely need support Skadi since she can buff attack and defense to her allies. Otherwise, you can save up for Shen since she can attack and debuff enemies like reducing their defense and their movement speed as well. Shen is good, but Skadi can deal 2 damage with her third skill, but not a lot, so if you want someone who can deal lots of 2 damage, you should definitely save up for Kal'tsit since Monster can deal 2 damage with its third skill. And Mizuki is a 6-star stalker who can attack multiple enemies and deal arts damage to them, and I would say that he is a number 1 stalker in the game, so if you want another stalker to your squad, then you can have him. Alright, before the video ends, I wanna thank you guys for doing the form. Much appreciated, and here are the graphs on the operators you chose, and it can be either wailing or saving, which is fine actually. Also, here are the opinions by those who participate the survey, and thank you CSET for participating the survey. And yeah, again, thank you guys for participating the survey, and always remember, save up whoever you want, and also comment down who are you gonna save up for. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.